It's time to wail. You see the title. You've probably seen the character teaser or the other video or GIFs or something. And it's dark 30 on a Wednesday. This is not super late for Jason because he works nights. But for me, I'm staying up because I'm making my first poll. And mine, Jane Doe, is guaranteed. I'm also pulling a 5-star or the regular banner and my first Bang Boos. I have a lot of polls to make. But we're going to start with Jason because he's all but guaranteed he's going to get her at some point in this banner, but maybe not right this minute. Hopefully he does.
Yeah, we're getting close here. I've been very lucky with winning the 50-50 so far. I don't expect that luck to continue. To be clear, my standard channel has been awful. Other than the guaranteed character, I pulled nothing but weapons on this. So I'm like completely characterless other than the one that they had to give me. So maybe that's the karma. Maybe I'll just never pull a character on this. Maybe that's how that's going to go. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with Jane in the campaign, especially when you got to play with her and Seth together. That the pairing of the two of them, swapping back and forth between the two, they just gel really well together. And there are enough sort of other teams for that third slot, or I've even seen some people say that like there's an argument to be made for only running the two of them because the field time ends up working out really well. So like I don't think that's going to be ideal in the end. I actually think that like the full meta choice team for her will probably be Bernice next patch. So like if I win this 50-50, that might be what I pull for because I like Bernice's design. I might hit her character, so I might change my mind, or her playstyle or something. But of all the leaked characters I caught back before the game was out, Trigger I liked and Bernice I liked. But in her concept art, her heels were on fire. She has like a little flamey thing back there. It's like I think it's supposed to be like the thing that ignites her flamethrower, like it's because you need the what do you call it, the ignition light or whatever. It was like on the back of her heels. Looks super cool. She still has those back there, but they're not on fire all the time, which is less cool.
Yeah.
But who knows? Point is, yeah, I'm of the opinion that I think pulling for all the cops will give me a ton of options going forward because so kind of as a surprise, Ching Yi supposedly works pretty well with Jane if you want to build sort of a stun build in Jane's teams because she gets her like meter auto completes if you use her chain attack, which obviously you want to run a stunner to do. And Ching Yi increasing the amount of damage they take when they're stunned is one of the few ways that you can increase anomaly damage because you can't crit, you can't itemize and do it to a certain degree. So that's one of the best ways to do that. So there are already a lot of synergies between the cops, Zhuyan, Qingyi, and then Jane and Seth will also be a very good power pairing. And I'm hoping that I will be able to trade them amongst each other going forward into the game's future, so that I'll always have some solid teams that I can build or swap around. That's the hope. That's the best case scenario. I'm sure, Chris, you've got your own reasons for pulling her. She's fun. She's a very fun character. The assault build is good. Her dodginess is rewarded really well. I wasn't convinced when they just gave us her in the game and it was like just her and a Bangbu. But as soon as you got Seth in there, I was like, this is fun. His ability to swap back to her and like give her a shield so she doesn't take tons of damage when she's spinning and all that was good. It felt really nice.
It's a cat and mouse pairing.
That's true. It is. The rat and the cat.
Well, we don't have to talk about a whole lot else because 16 pity, you can see it on the screen in this game, which we've talked about before, but is nice.
True.
And 130
Beautiful.
pulls plus some spare currency and stuff. It's very, very likely, but not guaranteed.
True. Yeah. I suppose we can start. We'll see how my luck holds up, and then we'll get over to you. You're in the bag. I am interested which Bangbu you're pulling for. I have not been saving my Bangbu pulls. I just pulled for Resinabu. I pulled for Kui, the cop, and I've pulled for a million, the cunning hairs. Those are the three I pulled for.
I do have a plan.
But I guess we'll start with the 10 pulls. We'll start going.
Let's do it.
I'm also not doing weapons. I thought about maybe just throwing like 10 and seeing if I could get Seth's in this. I think I'm cutting it close because I've been doing well in the 50/50s, that I don't want to waste any potential character pulls on these weapons, and I've been able to just sort of buy like the battle pass to get some weapons to fill some holes, because Seth kind of needs an attack weapon, and so that's really just his weapon or the battle pass. So I picked up the battle pass in his weapon this month, and last month I happened to grab the anomaly one, which works for Jane, so I lucked into that one. But yeah, just character pulls. Anyway, here we go.
But a bunch of them.
We'll see what. A bunch of them.
Take
yeah.
that algorithm. We got to them. Don't worry. All right, as usual. A.
And we skip. But we are hoping for 2 Seths. That's also good. I don't have that for a Piper yet. So that's good. Or is this one? This one's Piper's, right? Anomaly. Yeah. This is Piper's.
Okay, so.
And this is good. This is good. It's new.
Yeah,
we
small win.
Like new. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm hoping for M2 Seth, or whatever we're calling it. E2, C2.
It's going to be C. I do it in Genshin too, and in Star Rail. It's all C. I think sometimes I remember to call him E, and it doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah. If only because that lets his buff. I want at least one for sure of Seth, and I'm hoping that if I can get his first whatever, it'll it lets like his buff last longer even when he like swaps out of the field, or the shield, or when the shield goes away. That's what it does. Now what do we got here? Okay,
well,
we
there's
got
one.
We got one.
We've done
That's
the bare
good.
minimum.
We're winning already. Okay.
Imagine all these pulls and you don't.
It's possible.
Yeah.
I've had that. That's my Kuki Shinobu back.
You're
in the
the
day,
4-star
so.
guy, you know.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I mean, I got lucky with all the Nicole on the Juyen, so you know. But I'm not gonna have a problem with Anby, because the reality is that a lot of if I'm gonna be swapping between kind of my Cunning Hairs team. Oh, very nice. Look at that. If I'm gonna be swapping between a lot of the Cunning Hairs and the PubSec, having Anby constellations would be nice. She is a very quick stunner. I don't like that she can get interrupted. It sucks against certain enemies, but she can be incredibly quick at popping some people, to the point where she's arguably better than Xingyi in certain setups. So
okay,
it's a lot of okay.
We'll call you the minor leagues because this is AAA.
Okay.
Good day.
Lucy.
You may call me Lady Lucy.
I don't know that I will, but thank you.
I have the option.
Amby.
Okay. Some
in
Ambys.
position.
Yeah, Lucy, I think, from what I understand, gets kind of broken at C6 or whatever, and we're supposed to be getting very nice. We're supposed to be getting another Lucy, I think, in like a patch or something like that, which kind of makes sense. It'll be a big Sons of Caledon patch in a little bit.
Well,
Look at
this is going about as well as could be expected so far. The big question, of course, is the 50-50.
I agree, but so far this has been a winning scenario. We're hoping that we can hit this sooner rather than later. So, well,
If you win the 50-50, it's an unequivocal win.
I agree.
Even if it's 90, I think with what you've gotten out of your Seths and stuff, like, this is good. But
I agree.
If you hit a 70, Jane, that would also be good.
Which would that be? What this is? Man, reverse math. Which is what we call subtraction.
This is 66.
Is this my 7? This is 66. Okay.
So this 10 will take
So
you to
unlike-
76.
Okay, so we will be officially entering into the soft pity range here. I guess we see if it favors me. No,
One pick into soft pity. It's okay. Double A.
it's true. This is a lot of Ambys. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of hamburgers.
And then, do I single pull? I feel like the 10 pulls have been doing well, so I feel like I just keep doing that.
Yeah, and you're going to get
That's
another A
been my-
rank, and you should like the results of that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we do it. I've kind of come around on the 10 pulls. Oh, here we go. I guess we'll see. Ooh,
Pretty
two in,
early.
huh?
So 78.
Okay. Well, then we see. Here we go.
Moment of truth.
Which is it? Oh, okay.
Ready to get cut?
Well,
Beautiful.
that's 3 for 3.
That is 3 for 3. I just watch. I will keep pulling weapons on the standard banner.
Yeah, but
I
you
will,
know what?
I will.
Like I think people would take that. Like, yeah, it sucks.
I think, yeah.
But I think they
Yeah.
would take that compared to the alternative, because eventually you're going to get at least one pick out of the 300 on the standard one.
Correct. Yes. That will be the ultimate irony. But no, this will be good.
Because these wishes are a lot harder to come by.
So this is actually fun fact that I didn't know. This is the one difference between ZZZ and all the other Hoyo games. You'll notice what is not here.
An A.
And that is an A rank. And that is because an S rank actually resets the pity on A ranks in ZZZ, whereas it does not do that in the other games. You're always guaranteed to get that extra A rank. In the other ones, you are not here.
Interesting.
So that is, yeah, this is actually the perfect demonstration. I was guaranteed to get an A rank, but I didn't because I got Jane. So yeah, that is an interesting little bit. Well, okay. Well, this was good, and I'm sitting at 564. Okay. Well, I keep doing pulls. I kind of want to pull one of these at some point if I get, but like right now I'm just sitting. You know what I mean? There's no reason for me to dip into it yet.
You basically have another 50-50. That's another 28 pulls, takes you to 88. So
yes. So and there'll be a couple of events. I know that like Caesar's gonna be really good, but she's too booba for me. I'm not digging it. It's just, like she talks and it's just like all I see is chest, and I'm like, I'm out of here. That's not my vibe. So like, I am trying to save so that I can have enough to get like the weapon and the character for a trigger whenever she comes out. But I imagine we're going to be getting the Sons of Caledon here, and then we're probably getting Section 6 after that, and then we'll probably get Oval Squad, which means I have quite a while to save. So I'm kind of just riding my good luck, because by the time Bernice comes around, I will probably be close-ish. I'll be in like the same situation I am now, where I will probably be able to guarantee her, and she's maybe the only one that will fit into. What are you at, Andy?
C5?
Is
C6.
Is this 6?
Yeah, C6.
Ooh. Do it.
Do it.
Get an Andy.
There go her clothes.
It's okay. She doesn't need clothes. She just needs burgers. Her C6 just kind of makes her like a sub DPS. So like, I'm not super convinced it's all that necessary. Like, yeah, it increases the damage by like 45. Like, it's like, okay,
Doesn't seem that important.
No, that's not really why you bring her along. Is it? That's not the right, because her 4 is she regenerates more energy, so you can do the EX more often, which is nice. This is good. This does help her days, but like none of the other ones. That's of course not helping. But like this one is again, it is damage. But it's also days.
Yeah, that
like,
one's nice.
Okay, that one's nice. And the first one's more energy regeneration for more EX too. It's interesting that then you get to the end one and they're like, yeah, she'll be like a sub DPS, and you're like, I don't know that I was ever using her for that. That's seems unnecessary. Where's our new cat boy? It's Lucy at? It's just the one, right? Okay. Is this good? What is this? On the guard, she recovers energy. Well, energy is energy.
I mean, it's better than nothing.
Okay, so this one here was the big one here. When the shield ends, the anomaly proficiency increase provided by his passive lasts an additional 10 seconds. So even if you eat a big hit from the attack from like a boss and it gets rid of the shield that was giving the proficiency, you still keep it. That's what you want. That's the big one. And his 2 was also good. It'll be more useful for me and my Ching if I put Ching-Yi in this team, because it'll help her and him proc electrocute more often, because it lowers the electricity or the electric anomaly buildup. But it's otherwise like Jane wants to do assault and it's not helping with that. But yeah, I have some equipment. It's not amazing. Piper's holding all of it. I'd have to swap it all over. Piper, you're holding everything. So I have a physical damage one with, what was that, 2 instances of anomaly proficiency. I think you need 5. I was watching somebody's guide today, and you need 5 instances, 5 substats of anomaly proficiency. Okay, there's 2 of them there. If there are 5 substats of them, then there's one. Okay, then I think it's enough to hit the 420 mark once you've got all the items leveled up. To oh lord, where is it? Yeah, okay, there's another one there too. I have not leveled all these up. I was just farming them the other day. I'm caught a little by surprise by pulling tonight, so I'm not geared up all the way. But we have an anomaly mastery.
It's like 5 fanged medals too.
Yeah, this is not what I want. Is this the one? Yeah, this is not what I want. Hold on. This can go back to... this is what I want. Yeah. Yeah. Is that still enough substats? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I think that's exactly enough. But yeah, once I get this item leveled up all the way, plus all of these, plus Seth's buff, once his thing is leveled up, I think I hit 420 anomaly proficiency, which is supposed to be enough for this to be 100% crit chance, I believe. This take all that with a grain of salt. I believe that's how that works. I believe that's true. But I'm a little... I mean, I haven't really been leveling up anomaly people, but I have a feeling I'm going to be woefully lacking, even though level is one of the most important things to increase when it comes to anomaly characters, because assault's damage scales with level. Very few other things. So this is something I'm going to have to be cranking up. Ooh, okay.
Well, already at 338 anomaly this moment, so that's a good start.
Oh, do I have enough? Well, I guess that technically works. Well, what else am I going to use these on? There you go. Look at that. Oh, man. Is that enough? Oh, not enough.
No,
59. Sir. Okay. Well, that's okay. We'll come back to that later.
We get the idea.
We get the idea. It's okay. She just handed me a bunch of those in the mail, so that's fine. She's contributing here. And I'll have to... Yeah, look at these poses. She's doing her best.
Mm-hmm. All right, well.
Yeah, we got you to do over here.
We do, yeah. So I need to share my screen with you. I'll turn mine on so that they're not watching random Discord things. Turn yours off. There you can see me, but Jason can't see me. So hold on a minute.
And I will stop streaming.
Make Discord noises. I don't think they're audible on the stream. I don't remember.
Okay, here we go.
Here we are at the familiar screen. And by the way, I mean, you saw it happen multiple times when he was flipping through, but let me switch windows here because I can't control. There we go. Like, the first time it didn't show up. You can replay it, though, can't you? Can't you get to...
You back out, I believe, and then go into it.
There's a button to do it.
There is a button. Hit the option button. Then maybe go back.
Which
Am I crazy? No.
should I use this time?
There was a way to
There's
do
a way
it.
to do. Maybe it's in the event one. If you go to like.
Is it? You might be right.
This. And then, where is it? Play. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what we were trying to do. Was it worth it in the end? I don't know, but it happened. So my situation is basically I have not done a single one of these searches. So starting from scratch, but as you can see in the top right corner, it's guaranteed. Well, technically 90 and 90. I'm going to get other currency. Shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
So 178 pulls if necessary. And the difference with me is I'm not really sold on Seth. I totally get why he synergizes with her. It makes a lot of sense. There's some question about the third member of the team, but it's pretty much just Jane and Seth. Yeah. I get that. I'm not going to be upset with the prospect of getting some of him. And Ambi's kind of my main right now. She's not going to be for much longer, but she's going to slide over to a second team eventually. So getting any of her, especially just C1, C2, is a nice plus. But we're going to start here because it's less exciting, but we have exactly 24 pulls, so we're going to hit this S
You
rank.
got it. Yeah. I'm excited to see what your luck on the standard banner is.
Yeah, I mean, so far I only have the guarantee, so we don't know. We don't know in this game in general.
Wait,
I have
that was it.
really
There we
good
go.
luck in Star Rail and really god-awful luck in Genshin. So what is it in this
Genshin,
game?
yeah.
I don't know.
You know, it's funny. So I can't hear it on my end, but I can hear it in my head. I want you to know. I know it.
Yeah. I thought the game volume is too loud. I'll have to fix that after this poll. I didn't have a chance to test it, so maybe it's drowning us out right now, but I'll fix it in a moment. It was really quiet in the background while I had Jason's on, and now... All right, well...
Okay, what do we got? So this is good for you. That's Grace's engine. I have that.
Well...
Yeah. You actually have the Grace to go with it, unlike me. Yeah, exactly. This works for you. Whereas I have Kalita's weapon and Grace's weapon, and I have neither of those two characters to pair with.
All right. I just have a suspicion. So we don't need it to be loud. It's fine. We'll just go that route for now. I'll peek at OBS. It looks better. I guess it also picked up a lot when we have, the music going in the background, which is neat, but, again, I'm not trying to drown everybody out here. We'll spend the rest of these real quick just because we're here. At least 10 more of them, and then we'll move on.
Would be wild if you got another one. No. Well, no.
That's okay.
Oh, Corin.
She's so scared.
She is the sweetest girl.
All right, I'm not single pulling these. We're so far off of a thing. It's fine. Now, we will be getting to Bang Boo, but part of the reason we're not doing that yet is because we don't know what's going to happen here. If I lose the 50-50, I could get a character that sort of sends me in a slightly different direction.
Very true.
So we're going to jump into the main event here and just see what happens. Again, 0 pulls. No pity. Hasn't happened yet, but finally I'm going to be a little more invested in this game because I have a character I'm going to care about. I like Anby. I can stand Nicole. Billy was fine. I've come around a little bit on Grace. She is useful. Don't really like her character type, but it's fine. But now... So, I mean, Jason mentioned a lot of the reasons I care. Her role in the story was great. The trailers are almost a little bit too over the top. I know some people liked them. It's fine.
I think the most recent one was actually a little over the top for me.
Yeah.
I liked the other one where the little cop comes and picks her up and stuff.
Yeah.
I thought that one was kind of cute.
That's fine.
I think that the newest one was certainly
It's a little much.
A little. Put your headphones on.
Right,
I'm like,
at the
oh,
beginning.
dear.
That was the sign. I'm like, okay, y'all know what you're doing, and I get it. She's thick and all that. It's fine. I understand. But primarily it's the combat style I like. I love the double dodge, the counter system. That's me to a T. It's melee.
Triple dodge.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. So, that is just, I'm all for it. Getting to play it, even without Seth, I was a fan. That was the difference between me and Jason. Even without Seth, I was like, yep, this is it. So, here we go. Enough talk. No idea.
I like a good agile character. It's one of the reasons I like Nekomata. I just wasn't convinced that Jay needed to be the one. But her being able to synergize so well with Seth convinced me that, I really loved him coming in with the shield and then kicking it back to her, and then she'd come in, proc assaults, kick back to him with the shield. That felt great, I thought. But I totally get it. I'm interested to see if you'll... I almost want you to lose the 50-50. I don't want you to be like me and be stuck forever. But, I also don't want to put that on you.
I mean, the next character is probably Miyabi. We don't know for sure when that's happening yet.
I mean, you're gonna have a ton of patches to save.
I would think so. So I'm not really pressed to get it now on the first try, but I would prefer to win the 50-50. I'm not worried about most of the standard characters. There's 2 I would like.
Ooh.
Okay, AAA.
Triple A. Here we go.
We want to see at least 1 Ambi in this. We got 2.
Ooh, and you got Corin's thing.
So I've already hit my floor. I wanted to get at least 2 Ambis. I have. Everything else after this is gravy. I would like a Seth. I am going to play around with that eventually. I'm not really all that concerned about how many I get, but I would like 1.
What's your Ambia, do you know?
I don't know if she has anything.
Oh, okay.
I haven't pulled much. Maybe I hit 1 of her on the standards I was pulling before. I didn't hit any today.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, because you haven't been pulling.
Yeah, I haven't been pulling much, so we'll see.
Interesting. And the Steam Oven is pretty solid. I use it on my Ching-Yi. I don't use anything fancy. I have Kalita's S rank, and I don't use it on her. I actually use the Steam Oven on my, because I think it fits how I want to play Ching-Yi better.
Okay.
Ooh, there you go. There you go.
So we've hit all the requirements now. At this point, it's essentially like we were at with Jason, where it's like, okay, we went out of the 4 stars. Now, do we win the 50-50 or not?
Yep. Do we see what we get?
Okay.
Yeah, Lucy's gonna be an interesting character because, like, I think given the way that she buffs people, it's like good and bad. I don't think she has like a big assault DPS character to throw, like, to pair with yet to make her like super meta. But my understanding, I don't have it, so I don't know, is that when she hits C6 or whatever, it basically drops like a boar from the sky every time. Nice, Morambi. Every time she like hits like an enemy, or it counts as an EX special. Every time an EX special hits an enemy, it drops a boar. Now, normally, most characters can hit like what they. Ooh, here we go.
All right, it's in exactly 80 with 3 A's.
Long story short, Piper is the one where when she spins, it basically just drops like a rain of boars on people, and it's kind of broken. And I guess they've changed Bernice in some of the recent betas to prevent that exact same thing from happening, because they don't want to create a team where Bernice and Piper are just raining pigs on people endlessly.
Which is fair.
Which is completely fair. But some people were sad to see it go. But that does sound a little broken to me. Okay, that's your M1 Seth.
Yeah,
that's good.
Which we would like.
More Lucy.
Luciana de
Lucy will be good.
Montefio. Well, we're about to learn a lot about how this game might go for me.
Correct. Oh, beautiful. There you go.
And while it's anticlimactic, that's going to be it. I'm not pulling for anything else. Like, sure, C1 or her weapon, but we're not pulling for weapons right now. Sorry, gang. I'm free to play, and don't have that luxury, especially in the early going when there's other characters and stuff I'm going to want. So, but we're thrilled with the outcome.
And the A ranks in this game, the weapons, while they are not as cool, I don't want to say that the W engines aren't like impactful, because I would say that they are, especially Jane's here. It like can really decrease the amount of time she has to spin.
Yeah.
In order to, it has the anomaly buildup rate by 40%. Phenomenal. Like that's huge. Like numbers wise, her assaults are not that much bigger with this than some of the other A ranks, but quality of life, you're going to have to spin a lot less in order for that to work. Now, there are going to be some bosses where you only needed to get build up once and they were going to die or like some enemies, they die anyway. So who really cares if it was 40% faster? You can make all kinds of arguments. But I've just found so far that I've been very happy with my A rank weapons. And I think that's great, because now when I find the teams and characters I like, I can start looking at spending the going for the W engines when the reruns happen. So, yeah. So what are your thoughts on the Bang Boo?
This is what I'm pulling.
Okay. Explain it for the people at home.
So Plug Boo is electric based, and you're like, but you're pulling for an assault character who's physical. I am. But I think the team I'm most likely to run right now, even though Ambi doesn't make a whole lot of sense off field, is probably with Ambi as the third. I may just mess around with Nicole and Grace as the backups for the time being if I'm just not a big fan of Seth. And then Ambi will just pile out the second team. She can always go with Nicole and Billy as a second team because, cutting hairs, etc. And even if that's the case, I could use this with that team as well. But we're looking for, obviously, the stuff that has to do with electric. That's Ambi to a T. Also Grace. If Grace ends up sticking around with Ambi, then I have 2 characters, so that also triggers this.
Yeah, the benefit of your setup with having Grace is that whether you're running that disorder team with like Grace and Seth and Jane, or say Grace, Anby, and Jane, in all of these scenarios, Anby for a stunner to do extra damage, Seth for his buffs, or Grace for disorder, all of them are electric. So this will certainly help you proc that, because I don't think, granted, I don't have Grace, but I feel like she struggles to build up electric more so than Jane struggles to build assault.
Yes.
I feel like, yeah. So this will be a huge like quality of life as far as um, helping your disorders proc a lot more often, especially with Jane being on field more. So yeah,
Like Qui does nothing for me. Unlike Jason, I have not been pulling these characters. I mean, not nothing,
correct.
but it doesn't move
Yeah.
the needle. Butler, no. Bang Volver, I've heard is okay, but Shark Boo,
He's
no.
a bit random. Yeah. Bang Volver's got a random mechanic. So it's a little iffy.
As I'm looking through the rest of these, I heard a couple people mention Rocket Boo, but I'm like, just for what I'm doing, and again, even if it's multiple teams, I think this one makes the most sense, and I don't think it's that crazy.
No, I absolutely agree. I mean, there is the argument. You did the event though, right? The Bang Boo event. Did you get Lucky Boo?
No.
Did you get him?
I couldn't get the game to stay on for more than 2 seconds when the event was happening, so...
That's fair. Because if you had decided to run like a very physical heavy, like a anomaly buildup, he works in that build. I still think, given the characters you have, Electric Boo is going to give you more dividends. So I mean, I still think this is obviously the right choice.
So I don't think Ambi's going anywhere until maybe when I get Soldier 11, and even then I don't know, because it depends on what else I have to go with her. And again, cutting hairs just make for a nice secondary team no matter what. But we'll see.
Yeah, if I run my Ching Yi with Jane, then my first team will probably be Ambi, Nicole, and then Zhu, and that's what I'll be running. So like, yeah, the Cunning Hairs, for being free characters, they just pass you in this game. I'll be honest, they're really paying dividends as far as like building teams so far.
4 A's.
Wow, that's very good.
Okay.
Interesting.
Little Penguino.
Lots of Penguino.
Again, never pulled any of these. Was kind of waiting to see what I was going to aim for and then start to look at it. And I think I've got one that makes sense, so we're just going in.
Mm-hmm. And they've been pretty good at adding one for all the new teams that they're putting in. So the Sons of Caledon should be getting one here at some point soon. And then I'm sure Section 6 will get one, so you can pair that with your Miyabi. I will be interested to see if there are other Section 6 characters that you're going to want to pull alongside Miyabi, because that is kind of how they've been building these teams, is to create or at least have some kind of synergy between the members so that they can work together.
Okay. Where is the soft pity on this? Is it 65 instead of 75 since it's 80, or what is...
I think, yeah, I believe that's the case.
Well, I hit it on 64.
And of course you're guaranteed it, so there's no mystery here.
Right, so we're not going to worry about it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I should have done it once just to see the... Oh, no, it goes to him anyways. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Head empty, just the way we like it.
Exactly, you know? We
Just,
can't have our Bangoos thinking.
just bubbles and fizz, and yeah, we don't want them thinking, because thinking leads to disaster. So I will probably just sit on the remainder of these. You know, I don't know what else the purpose would be at this time, and this way I can once again sort of pivot to what else might be necessary coming up. Because, you know, I have the Bagboo one that's pretty well leveled, and it's like, that's fine. Is it great? No. And I'll probably pivot to a second one now that among the stuff I just got. But whatever. This gives me some more options, and this, I think the S's I'm just going to wait on almost enough to guarantee it again. I mean, I only need 11 more, and I think some of the currency I just got would probably get me close, but I'm not looking for anything in particular right now. It's going to be a while, so that means we're probably done for the day.
I mean, I think we've had 2 very good showings. I think that works. You know what I mean? There have been worse pull sessions amongst us.
Boy,
so
have
that's
there.
good.
I was going to do one more thing, because we talked about needing to do this more, and we're going to do it more, but I can't get to the menu up there. Thank you.
You're gonna do our little preview here, which I haven't even done yet. This is the first day I've logged in where she's been good to go.
Yep, and I did, just to get the 20, although I had more than enough anyways, but... So, yeah, extra dodge. She just scatters around all over the place. Very rat-like. And then...
There's an extra... So every character can, like, dodge and then attack, or even dash and attack. She actually has different attacks based off whether you double dashed or like double dodged, I believe. So like she's very built around that.
So we have dodge and counterattack.
Yeah.
We have a skill where she does a nice flip and a pirouette at the end. And we just get to abuse these poor enemies who dare to attack her. And now she's building up that meter that's already full in the top left. You can see it in the demo screen as well. And then she gets to be in the passion state, and then she's just even quicker, hits harder, gets more anomaly. Just a whole thing.
And she has, so there's an element to her that at first I thought was the weirdest thing when I was playing her, because I was like, I don't understand what they're doing with her. And then you read her kit and it all connected, because she walks weird sometimes and dodges weird, and I'm like, I don't understand. It's like she's fucking skating around. Like she doesn't have any. And I was like, I don't. Why didn't like that? She's not running. It's because she is. There's a little circle up there by the passion string.
Yeah.
So that when she gets it, she gets one use of Sao Cao jump or Sao Cao spin, which is because that is what she's doing. She uses the blades on her feet essentially as ice skates, so that if Chris holds down the attack button here, she'll basically. Oh, I see.
We're not at that tooltip yet. I made this mistake when I did the tutorial. Funnily enough, if you do it here, it actually gives you credit for it in this third one, even though it hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
But yeah, I made the same mistake. I was like, I already know how to do that, and I was like, oh, it hasn't taught me yet. Whoops. But yeah, she gets the Sao Cao kick, and as you can see, I mean, we're going to see it on the screen here in a minute. Now she gets to just spin to win.
Yeah, so then she gets to do her best ice skater, and she just gets to sit here and spin. And for anybody that's, I mean, I'm sure people out there can watch videos and stuff if you're here on YouTube. But not every attack can proc assault. A lot of times it's like the end of an attack string that will actually proc the assault. So you can build up the anomaly and it'll hit full, but it won't quite hit until like it connects.
By the way, just real quick, I also love the ult. I like ults that do like a thing on the ground and then damage that comes up from it. So like, I was a fan of that too. Nothing fancy, but I was like, yeah, I'm on everything about it. I'm on board.
Yeah. So, for example, so like her spin though, when you do the Sao Cao spin, one of the nice things about it, even right now, you'll notice Chris has the Sao Cao spin, even though he's not in the passion string. But the Sao Cao spin can proc assault at every single interval of the spin. So if you get close to being full, like there for the assault, you can actually just do the Sao Cao spin and keep building up your assault. There are some other things for example, if you use the ult when they're almost at the top, like, so say they're at 99% anomaly and they're about to have assault procced. If you use the ult, it'll bring it up to 100, and then you'll basically overfill. You'll over assault. It won't proc assault. You'll just sit at 100, 100, 100, 100. You'll waste the whole ult, and at the very end of the ult, it'll proc the assault. So you actually kind of want to wait until you've procced an assault, their meter is empty, then you hit your ultimate, it'll refill it all the way up to the top and give her passion state again, and then it'll let you pop it. So there's actually some really cool kind of deeper mechanics in like when you want to use which ability of hers, instead of just like, oh, I see shiny button, I press shiny button. It actually requires some thinking in a fun way, I think.
Well, again, so you can go Unga Bunga, which a lot of people are going to do when they see her in the first place, but also when you play as her, or any character in this game, and you'll get like 70% out of it. But there is some nuance to it that is kind of nice, because, again, if you really are good about the timing and your rotations, you can get that extra 20 to 30% out of it and really make her shine.
Which is, I mean... I wish that level of detail existed in some of the other Hoyo games, but I understand why it doesn't.
Yeah.
To some degree that can exist in Genshin, but I find it can be very like, I say this in the best way, like an autistic level of like, well, you see, after the third basic attack, you have to swap to so-and-so into their burst and then swap off of them to do one normal and then a jump. And then you swap over to, like, you have to, like, the timing, it's too stupid for me. Like, I don't want to do that.
It's like following
that's
a script.
Not how I want to.
It's not sort of going with the flow of battle. It's performing a set series of actions, and sometimes the actions are silly.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, look, the perfect world for me is Genshin's level of exploration with this game's combat, and that's not going to happen, so I'm going to be sad on both fronts. Look, I like the street, I like the smaller, more like confined areas this game does have, but in a perfect world, we mix the two. You get like a really good version of Wuthering Waves with a nice fluid combat, Because look, Genshin's combat is good, but this feels a lot better. But unfortunately, they're all
Yep.
separate games, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and the amount of budget and time and animation that they're putting into these characters, I think, is the offset. I think the lack of exploration is what allows them to do
Yeah.
that at the pace that they do. And I'm okay with it, mainly because both games do exist. I often find myself not having enough time to explore everything in Genshin, which means that I'm not getting all the primo gems or whatever I'm supposed to be getting all the time, or so like at some point I actually find it much easier to keep up with ZZZ. And if the caveat is I don't get to explore, well, I can always go boot up Genshin and do it. I agree. I actually wish that we could run around, jump around, do a bunch of crazy stuff with the characters. I think they're going to try to, they've already talked about letting you walk around as the characters in the main city. So they're going to kind of, allow us as best they can and stuff like that.
And they've mentioned co-op, so we'll see what that means
Yes.
if it is implemented. That could be a lot more fun here. Again, it's fine in Genshin. It's cool that it's an option. We've used it on the channel before. It's not like it's a bad thing. But if it's in a more fluid game like this, and you can figure out a way to balance it with 4 characters going on, like what do you do with the ults, etc., it could be a winner for them. So, like, and is this my favorite
Yeah.
game? No, I'm not where Jason is. I'm still a Star Rail guy first and foremost. But I think having Jane now with a character I can really invest in is going to help me get more into it.
Yeah, and like imagine if you and I could just pop into a game to fight a boss. I could bring in my Qingyi, you could bring in your Jane, and we could have a go at it. See how quick we could do it. Each one of us could be playing the character to our best ability, and if they synergize well, we get rewarded for that. I think that sounds like fun.
Mhm.
I'm hoping that they can make that happen. But yeah, I mean, I agree. Some exploration would be nice. But I'm also happy with the fact that they take the time to, you know, put these characters together. They haven't, at least as of yet, reused a body frame yet. Every character has been an
Yeah,
individual.
true.
So like if they're able to keep this level of polish for every character, I think that's going to result in a game with a full cast of characters that I will be very happy with going forward. Whereas like a lot of times with Genshin, I can like a character, but then I sit them down and I'm swapping between characters and I'm like, oh yeah, I see where you are just Yoimiya, but like you don't have boots. You're and like they changed your hair.
Right.
Like sometimes that can steal some of the fun of getting a brand new character and then you're swapping around the party and you just see the palette swap happen on them as they're standing in place because you've put them next to an equal sized character. And like you're not going to have that in this game ever. That's not a thing that happens.
It's not Genshin's fault,
That
but it's the same problem with like Genshin only has so many
true.
weapon types, right? So like at a certain
Hmm.
level, there's going to have to be that similarity across different characters. And in some ways, it's not even a bad thing. It's just that the thing that Star Rail and ZZZ have done is like, all right, your characters have this type of equipment as far as the game is concerned, but they can have whatever the fuck weapons they want as far as their palette goes. So like, have fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And that may sound dumb, but like, I think that is absolutely a reason why they made the W engine and the light cone banners better, more generous in ZZZ and Star Rail because so many players are willing to say, my character looks cool as they are on the battlefield. I don't need to buy the cool weapon. Like that level of FOMO doesn't exist in those games. And so they realize they need to be a little bit more, they need to ease off the slot machine on
Well,
that
and
one
it
a little
also
bit.
makes
Otherwise
sense
people won't pull.
since those are specific. Some other characters can sometimes use like Raiden Shogun's lance or whatever. Just pick an
Yeah.
example, right? Like other characters can still maybe get some good use out of it, not as much as her, but enough to make it worthwhile. Yes, that's true of some of the W engines and the light cones, but not really. They're pretty specific to that character, so it needs to
Yeah.
not be on a 1 in 3 chance, basically.
And I will admit, one of the fun things about the W engines is say you pulled Jane's W engine and it was super cool and her hair glows and you're like, yeah, I've got the W engine. Because they even give a little effect. That's more than you do in Star Rail. If you have the W engine, you get a little added effect for them when they're on the field. But then say a new character comes out and their best in slot is Jane's weapon. And you're like, well, shit, I don't want to. Why would I want to do that? Like, yeah, sure, I've got another option for Jane. but I only have one copy of her weapon. Well, if you give that weapon to the new character, the extra glowy hair effect still works on Jane because you possess the item in your inventory. So you even get the little cosmetic benefit that they included for those people that want a little something with the W engine, even if you're not running that W engine on the character that the cosmetic effect syncs with. So like they've just incentivized it all across the board. They've said if you want to pull for the weapon, go for it. It's nothing but benefits,
Yeah,
essentially,
which is
even
good.
if you stop using it.
And
Yeah.
Genshin was the first, so it deserves credit in a lot of different ways for innovating. And obviously, the two games that have followed have borrowed from that in a lot of ways. So it's not like it's throwing Genshin under the bus, but it is nice to see those iterations because if these games were like that at launch, like Genshin back in 1.0, I don't know how well they would be doing.
Yeah. But I will hand it to Hoyo. As much as they are different development teams working on these games, I think you can see. I don't think it is a coincidence that Penacony is like has this very jazzy kind of feel to it, and a lot of the music in ZZZ can tend to feel a little jazzy in modern at times, or that we ended up in Star Rail. Penacony is this dense urban landscape, and what do you know? ZZZ is a dense urban landscape, and then what do you know? ZZZ is very flashy. There's a lot of colors. Jane Doe here's almost kind of got like a breakdance feel to her. And what do you know? What new region just came out in Genshin that has breakdancers and bright colors everywhere? Like, I think that they have been very good at cross-pollinating where it's useful. And I think I have to assume they brought in professional breakdancers or people that knew how to do it, or some animators that knew how to do it and make it just clean, or motion capture, whatever they do over there. And I feel like they are to some degree sharing those assets, or like sharing that expertise. I doubt they're sharing assets because I don't think they're all compatible, but like, if they bring in a bunch of guest composers, or people to write music for their Hoyo Mix team, they're probably going to double dip where they can, which is why you're going to get, Penacony and Fontaine sound similar in some ways, with a lot of their brassy sections and very like kind of fancy, you listen to the swing jazz in Farina's trailer, and you could have probably dropped that right into Penacony, and it would have worked just well outside of the French in it. Like, these are things that I think we see. And if anything, it kind of makes me excited because it means that a lot of the fun character experimental things that they do in ZZZ and in Star Rail, I think are going to cross pollinate into Genshin and vice versa, which I think that's fun. I think it's not a coincidence that we're going to get like the cool Ocelot girl at some point, and she's going to be rollerblading around and looking like a cool little rollerblading 80s DJ, after Jane Doe's already started the trend of roller skating herself around and doing really cool fun stuff. So I think that's cool. I appreciate that Hoyo's putting the work in. And I'm not going to say everyone should play all 3 games, but I think there are benefits to each one. And so, pick the one that works for you. And in the ways that it lets you down, I do think you can turn to HSR or Genshin and kind of find what the others are lacking. You know what I mean?
As we wrap up, they're also on different patch cycles, so you can kind of dabble in all 3 and then just play some of the new content as it comes out and not feel like you have to keep logging in daily as a requirement. Just play the ones that grab your interest and cycle between them and keep them fresh.
Yep. Yeah. No, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I've been able to sort of step away from the events in ZZZ and burn through all the Natland stuff, and I've got a little bit more of that to do. But I've been working on HSR for this last week on all the March 7th nonsense. So like, once you get the rhythm in, yeah, you can kind of focus on each one every week and pick your game, which is fun.
So we both went our 50-50. We both got what we wanted out of our 4 stars, and the way to the 50-50, pretty much a success across the board. What's next is where we usually end up with these, and the answer is Genshin's next. That'll be over the weekend, probably towards the end. We have a chance to record it, so maybe late Sunday or Monday that posts, because, brand new region, as we've mentioned a couple times, some fun new characters. Jason's got a fun system built in. He'll tell you about it next time. I'm not pulling anything yet, but we might have 1 or 2 other stragglers. We'll see. The big one for me is that Star Rail is going to be next week, and I am fucked.
Yes, you
I
are.
won't spend a lot of time on
Yes,
it
you
here.
are.
I'll talk about it when we get to that video, but if you've been following along with the series and you're wondering, you've seen the news. 2.5 has Fei Zhao, who I'm pulling. That's the one guarantee. I'm getting her. I have 410 plus pulls, and we'll have more by then for some combination of maybe Kafka's C1, probably not Black Swan C1, maybe Topaz's C1, but that's the second half of the patch. So if I'm doing that, I have to decide to punt the rest of it. Maybe Robin's C1.
Yeah,
She's best in
welcome to my
slot for
world.
follow-up attacks, so if I'm going hard on that side. So the whole thing is fucked. We'll talk about it when we get to the Star Rail pulling video. If you've been following all of them, we appreciate it. We'll have more coming up in the future. Say goodbye to the nice people, Jason.
Goodbye, nice people. Have a good night.